the revival of a fun tradition here on We Have No Cares. It's a match that both myself and Rob have seen basically nothing of.
Yay!
Yes.
We're good at that.
Heart of Midlothian travelled to Dumfries. I listened to Hearts TV commentary whilst playing an original Xbox. How did you absorb this game?
I occasionally checked Twitter on a dying phone. It was, I had to keep putting it into airplane mode before refreshing. It was quite tense, but yeah.
It's the full century experience. But fortunately, we've got two gorgeous men who made their way all the way down to Dumfries. We've got Angus.
Hello.
And the housewife's choice, Robbie.
Hi, how you doing?
There he is.
There he is.
There he is.
That's it.
Oh, twinkling so he is.
That's glistening sweat from my hangover, guys.
Which is
another fine tradition of We Have No Cares.
Yeah, especially trips to Dumfries.
Yes.
What a great thing it is. So what kind of a day did you have, gentlemen? You packed into a bus, is that correct?
Well, it wasn't really packed. We had maybe about 3/4 of a bus. It was good. We had a stop at Abingdon where I had a Krispy Kreme donut.
Fantastic.
Then we went on to...
Is there a Krispy Kreme in Abingdon?
They got a vending machine.
Like a wee vending machine for them.
What, a vending machine for donuts?
Yes.
Fuck, that's
That's
incredible.
incredible. Yeah, I don't think I could get a Krispy Kreme anywhere in Glasgow. But there's like one vending machine in the middle of the countryside in Scotland. That's incredible.
Superb.
What a distribution strategy.
What times we live in.
And then we hit Dumfries Rugby Club, which was nice and cheap at £2.90 a pint or £3 for a Guinness, but can't say fairer than that.
$1.50 for a burger and chips, man. That's all we got well stuck in there.
Did you have to pretend to like rugby while you were there?
No.
Well, there was no bloody rugby players in there, man. We were the only people there.
There was actually a girls' rugby team that just come off as we were arriving, and as we went into like the toilets, there was another door that went into like their changing rooms, which was really uncomfortable for a lot of us because they were about 15 and
Oh my word!
I never noticed this, by the way. This is news to me. I missed that completely.
It's only Angus that knows. He says some of us when really.
This anecdote took a terrible left turn. But a good time was had by all. Dumfries is a lovely trip.
It is, yeah.
It's a great drive and it was a great day for it, you know what I mean? I know we're sounding a bit like, a holiday roadshow here, but it's a great drive down there and it's good fun on the bus and nice weather.
They've got a nice bridge and a nice river in Dumfries.
Yeah, it is, it's very quaint, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Nice town.
Would you consider retiring there?
Absolutely not.
Oh, right. Okay. So, well, fuck you, Dumfries.
That's exclusive.
Robbie has spoken. The more sharp-eared amongst you would have noticed that Robbie doesn't have a natural Edinburgh accent on him. He's an implant. But you've married into the Hearts tradition, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I'm a Manchester City fan by birth. Yeah, I know. But yeah, when I met my now wife, I was kind of brainwashed into the tribe, and I've been to probably more games than her this season. I'm thinking. So yeah. I've been, I'm taking them to my heart is a way to put it, I think.
Yeah, and it's obviously much better than being a Man City fan, right?
There's certainly more drama. I have to say that. I mean, when I started following Hearts, you guys were properly up to your neck in shit, and it was a bit of a challenging time. But no, it's been good to see you guys come out the other end. And I don't mean to be maybe it sounds a bit kind of patronising, but the way that things have really changed and turned around, it's really good to see from any sort of kind of bystander's point of view. I think it's really nice to see where the club is headed.
I personally love the way Robbie still tries to say "you guys" when he
I know.
us.
Yeah. My wife warned me, don't say that. I do consider myself one of you guys. And then,
every now and then when he says "we" and then corrects himself. I mean, I don't know what I mean that.
No, but you guys are in my heart now. So.
But basically, who would win in a fight between Gennaro Zayfak and David Silva?
Oh, Jesus. I think the question is, who are we going to employ to sweep up the pieces of David Silva afterwards?
So therefore Hearts are much the better football club.
Yeah,
I'm glad that we've established that.
Yeah, we know now.
Let's just leave it at that, shall we?
So, a good result. We did win 2-1 at Dumfries, which is excellent work considering that this was one of the hardest games that we've got left. I mean, other than this, we've got a trip to Easter Roads and some walkover at Ibrox to come. But, this was a pretty important step on the road to the title, and it wasn't particularly easy. From listening to the game as it was in progress. It sounded like Dumfries had Dumfries, Queen of the South.
Dumfries of the South.
Dumfries FC had quite a lot of the play in the midfield.
Yeah, in the first half, definitely. We were really toiling to get onto second and third balls. They were quite good at marking people like Jamie Walker and Billy King out of the game almost, so they couldn't, get us forwards. So we were able to do a little bit, but we didn't manage to find any kind of end product from anything. They did really well at stopping us from playing our game.
So was that sort of down to Gomez, Payardo, Blabin in the middle? Were they sitting back a wee bit? I mean,
I don't think they were really kind of firing off. So, well, Piardo aside, because he had a really good game, I thought. But especially in the first half, I thought Gomez and Blabin weren't quite at the races. My memory is quite hazy, I have to admit, before saying this. But a couple of kind of loose touches and things like that, which Queen of the South were really quick to pounce on, and not really kind of giving the midfield a second. Not letting them get away with anything. So
it's been like this for a few weeks that we've been not on autopilot or anything like that, but without a really strong challenge, and with it looking very, very likely that we're going to win the league, and it's just a matter of time now. There's a slight lack of urgency about the squad.
It's kind of, it has, like, obviously I saw nothing of the game yesterday, but it sounds almost typical of the last even 3 months since Christmas. We've had the odd good showing, against Alloa and stuff like that, but there has been, I don't know if it's tiredness even creeping in, but a lack of urgency. And
you don't know if it's kind of complacency or if it is, a fitness thing or something, or just trying to try something new in the team, But
I think it's a combination of all these things, and also championship sides wising up on how to play us, just really getting in the faces. I mean, what's interesting was we did sort of go for a slightly different shape than we have in recent weeks, with this sort of flat 4-3-3. With, as you say, the three big guys, and I say big guys, strong guys in the middle, because Payardo is shorter than
me.
I didn't want to hammer that point home, but Angus isn't going to make it in the NBA. Let's just put it that way.
5'6".
And Miguel, for all his great qualities, is not much taller. So those flat three and the two wingers, King and Walker, flanking Zeefuik. I mean, how did that work? Did we get a lot of width out of that? Because that's been
I would say that King especially seems to be going to get quite a lot of the ball, especially in the second half. But end product, I don't recall Zeefuik getting an awful lot. And one thing that did seem to kind of happen was, instead of kind of marauding forward down the wings, we're very quick to kind of release a long ball, diagonally into the middle. And Zeefuik, for all his, obvious qualities that he does have, jumping and winning headers doesn't seem to be one of them. Now, I know he's at a slight kind of disadvantage in the fact that he's maybe heavier than your average player, but so that didn't really seem to kind of work. Even balls from defence and things like that seemed to kind of try and go over the top a little, which I found a little surprising.
Gravity does seem to embrace Big Gennaro quite strongly. Problems that we've seen with that sort of formation in the past has been a disconnect between midfield and up front, unless, out of those three, it's normally incumbent on Blabin to be the one running forwards. And he obviously had to go off at half time. I mean, what was the situation there?
I don't know whether he got injured or something. Personally, I would have rather seen Gomez go off. I think Gomez was having a worse game at the time.
Yeah. I think it was basically an excuse to get Anderson on, actually. Maybe kind of address the problem that you just kind of pointed out. Maybe a bit more kind of cut and thrust from midfield rather than just kind of attempting to kind of keep the ball and, control the game sort of thing. Maybe a bit more urgency, I guess, to try and maybe drive forward a little bit more.
Laurie on the commentary did sort of intimate that it was an injury that took Prince off at half time.
Okay.
He got hurt in a challenge that sort of put him off on the sidelines sort of halfway through the first half, but he didn't make it past the interval. But I was more asking, was Blabin making those sort of runs to try and support the striker before he got injured, or?
It was really hard to see because, as you've mentioned, I'm quite short and we were on terracing. So for quite a lot of it, I was just really looking at Neil Alexander and thinking, God, he's handsome.
All right, well, I'll ask an adult then, Rob.
Well, I mean, joking apart, we were at the other side of the ground, and from behind the goals, it's hard to kind of, your perspective's a bit mucked up. I did not, to answer your question, no, I didn't see a lot of that from Blabbin, but it's difficult from that kind of like end of the ground.
Okay, so what you're saying
this has been really helpful. I know.
What you're saying then is Prince Blabbin's really lazy. Understood.
Well, I mean,
I never said such. A thing.
Even looking at the last time he played at Palmerston, Blabbin was fantastic at doing exactly that. Obviously, it was so up front that day. And even Blabbin's goal was him just cutting right through the middle, making that sort of run. He's maybe not doing it quite as much in this half of the season, but we have changed tact a wee bit in the last few months or so. But
he has been, he's been kind of hit or miss. He's had a slightly sort of stop-start season with not season, but since Christmas. So he's been slightly stop-start with injuries and suspensions. And he had like a terrible game against Falkirk, but a pretty good one against Livingston. So I just want him to be better. I just want him to be great.
We all do.
But yeah, that slight lack of cohesion in midfield perhaps was punished well by Queen of the South for their goal.
yes. It was actually. I was mentioning this when we were watching the goals earlier on. It is a really well built up goal, obviously from a throw in on the left hand side, sort of passed along the middle. Maybe talking about that slight lack of urgency, Gomez maybe not getting to the ball quite quickly enough. Maybe just a couple of yards off the pace a wee bit. They came down the right hand side eventually. Eckersley, he rushed out of position to get to the winger. I know Robbie, you mentioned that maybe
I thought it was
slightly,
at fault, yeah, but looking at it again, it's a good piece of interplay. It's a nice little 1-2, and you get to turn kind of inside out, so
you can't really account for someone doing a very good bit of work sometimes. It was a really good goal. Got down to the byline eventually when he sort of shimmied past Wilson. Simple tap in for Carmichael in the end, but a goal that maybe was a bit preventable when it was in the midfield, but then you've got to give credit where it's due when they got into the final third and they were pretty incisive.
Yeah, sometimes life is a case of good defending, just better attacking, and it was Lewis Kidd was their winger. I thought worked very, very well, as you say, the 1-2 that he worked to get inside, beat about 3 players before he put that cross along the bottom. Possibly not Callum Patterson's finest hour, right in front of the goal though.
I was surprised to see Patterson play, to be honest, because of the plastic pitch. He's had knee problems. I thought it's the kind of game that we would be resting him for. He wasn't his usual self. He wasn't as bad as he was against Falkirk. Or Livingston. Well, he had an absolute shocker recently. I think it might have been Livingston.
It was Livingston. He played very, very poorly.
Yeah, he wasn't as bad as that, but he also wasn't the Callum Patterson that we all know and love, which was a bit of a shame. But then,
do you know Callum Patterson?
He loves him as well.
This is incredible. Like,
I don't like to talk about my connection. I've met Callum Patterson twice.
and you're in love. That's so nice.
I know. It's going to be a June wedding. Get the season out of the way first.
You guys, I think obviously bringing it back to again the last thing about Palmerston, it was Jordan McGee. Probably one of his finest games for us as well, when he was playing it right back and he scored his goal and stuff like that. I think Patterson is, even if he hits a wee dip in form, he's always worth the risk because he's such a threat. He is getting more and more solid defensively. It's still not his strongest attribute as his defending, but he is getting there. Learning from someone like Robbie Nielsen, who was a great defender, maybe didn't have the attacking side to his game, is obviously going to bring him on and help him. But I think he's worth the risk at this time of the season, especially when there's games like this that are not must win, but certainly fucking great if we do win, which obviously we did on Saturday.
I was just concerned he was going to get hurt again. There was a point in the second half where he did go down and he stayed down for quite a while.
He got clattered a couple of times.
And he was holding his knee, and then infuriatingly the ball went out for a throw-in, and instead of getting him looked at, the referee just waved up play on. So Patterson was on the ground, ball goes out, then the throw-in gets taken and Queen South continue to attack, while Patterson's still on the ground holding his knee, which I was a bit put out by that. And I was a bit concerned then that he fucked his knee.
Right.
But he got up and carried on the rest of the game, so I believe he's okay.
You're just being an overprotective wife.
That's my boy.
That's your problem.
But we did find a way back into the game. There was, from listening to the commentary and from getting a general feel of the reaction from Queen of the South, they feel it was slightly controversial that Billy King won a free kick.
Yeah, I don't remember much. I mean, I think it was a free kick. I certainly don't remember going, why have we been given that? But there was uproar.
Yeah, it seemed to be an absolute fucking outrage.
One of them, I think it was Payne, got
me.
booked after the goal because he went over to the referee and complained. It might have been Payne, I think it was.
No, you're absolutely at the level of detail that we require for this podcast. I just don't worry about it.
But the fact of the matter is, it was given, and stop fucking whining and just defend the free kick.
Yeah. They weren't booing. They were saying "Boo Willie."
Well, they certainly were giving it big boo willy for the rest of the match. Every time he touched the ball, they seemed to be very upset that he existed.
Probably because he twatted it into the top corner from the resulting free kick, to be honest with you.
He certainly did.
He did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the free kick went directly to him and then he scored. It went free kick, then went to Patterson, and then Patterson went down the wing and then crossed it in and he scored from that. It wasn't like directly from the free kick that he scored. It certainly was involved in the build-up, and that was where it started from, but it wasn't.
It did seem like Queen and South were a wee bit slow to come out. The referee was still standing by the ball when Gomez took it short. Was it Payardo?
Payardo carries it forward, plays it to Walker, who puts it out to the wing. Nobody closes down Patterson to stop the cross.
Gives an acres of space.
Yeah.
He puts in a pesh. In pesh
of a cross.
And King twats it.
Yep, twats it. Top corner twatting. But again, bringing it back to Patterson, that's something that he has been very effective for this season, is crossing early from the right hand side as well. His accuracy is getting a lot better. I remember the first time it really started doing it was last season, and obviously the goal in the relegation derby. Dale Carrick's goal came from exactly that kind of thing. Patterson getting it out wide, having a look up and hitting the centre. So
should we stop calling it the relegation derby, seeing how we didn't get relegated after that?
No, but Hibs did.
That's true. Oh yeah. From that point of view, yeah. Keep calling it the relegation derby.
I will.
Put it in capitals.
But yeah, that's the first time he really started. Obviously, that's when he hit his major upturn in form as well. So yeah, I'm going to stand by your man there, Angus. I've got a lot of time for CPATs.
What a guy.
Yep. And obviously, again, just one more thing to mention about Billy King. Now being involved in 19 goals this season, scored 6 and set up 13.
That seems like a lot.
That's not fucking bad for someone who's not really played in the last.
How many goals have we actually scored? Does anyone know off the top of their head?
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Loads. I'm going to say like 60
sounds about right.
Yeah.
So that's like a third.
I really wanted Prince to score as well, so that the headlines would have been Prince and King fuck Queen. But he didn't.
But he didn't. No, you're right.
You're definitely right. That's certainly what would have been the headlines. In all of the, on the BBC website.
I can see Barry Anderson licking his lips at that point.
Well, on that bombshell.
Yes.
That was the first half, and like we were saying earlier, for the third game in a row, we had to make a substitution at half time due to injury.
Yeah.
Boivin went off, and Kenny Anderson.
Yes.
I can't see his name other than that. It's always Kenny Anderson.
Kenny Anderson. He once again slotted back into the side.
Into the what?
You heard me. And so I'm guessing we went to a more sort of 4-2-3-1-ish sort of thing. Did he play in the hole? Was he in the hole? Tell me about the hole. Tell me about the hole that you observed, Robbie. Teach me.
The Dutchman in the hole. No, he was there, but again, we had a lot of cut and thrust, but not a lot of kind of end product. I mean, he seemed to do okay, but I don't remember him doing anything that memorable. It's not a slight on him, but the second half, while it was a lot better, a lot more kind of attacking intent. We just never really seemed to find the cutting edge and be able to really put it to bed, because I mean we dominated the second half, if I recall.
That's a word I've got written in my notes here. Dominated.
But are those notes about the game, or just your general thoughts?
Angus, is that 50 Shades of Grey?
No. It's in another room. We did dominate, and there was lots of speculative shots. So Ulster put one into Terrigal Street, so well.
Clear the terrace, man. Yeah.
But I mean, again, he has scored from distance, so I'm not gonna stop him from trying, because he can do it.
You literally can't.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He would kick fuck out of you.
I'd let him. But Billy King, Wilson, and Gomez all had shots as well that were from distance. They weren't real; they were very speculative. Jamie Walker was pretty well marked by them for the most part, but we were very solid in midfield. Yeah.
And Piardo was great in the second half as well. Every time he kind of got the ball, that's when kind of excitement levels picked up a little bit in the crowd, I think. So
he's become really our most important player just now. I think Piardo is so good. I mean, it's getting to that stage now where he's more than ingrained himself and he's got used to the Scottish football. And I don't know how the fuck we signed him, to be honest with you. It makes no sense.
He's not just a fancy Dan either. I mean, he's got a great work rate and he doesn't mind kind of getting stuck in and doing the defensive duties as well. He's not what some people might call a luxury player or something like that, because he's skillful. He's got all the qualities you want.
He's the opposite of the luxury players, is necessity player.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
complete.
But when you have someone with that kind of amount of skill, that's how they kind of get referred to. He's a grafter.
He's just the hub of the midfield at the moment. Yeah. He wins the ball, he passes it short. He's got an amazing ability to avoid challenges and wriggle into space and then play the ball to somebody who's free. I adore him. I just get emotional thinking about it.
I saw someone on Kickback make actually. I don't really like this sort of comparing players to past players thing. Like Gary Glenn was meant to be the next fucking John Robertson and stuff like that. But someone made a
Can we have like 23 seconds of laughter about that?
He scored against Hibs.
Yeah, twice. Yeah, he did.
Two times.
That's where the comparisons end. But yeah, no, like someone made the point.
Both ended up at Livingston.
Well, that's
where the comparisons continue.
Yep.
And then stop.
Yeah. But it's obviously not. I'm not saying exactly, but someone said he's like a cross between Brelly and Aguiar. He's got the kind of physicality of Brelly where he can win the ball, but then he's got Aguiar's passing ability, whereas Brelly really didn't have that ability.
Isn't it just easier to compare him to Salvatore?
Yeah, maybe. No one. Yeah. Alright then. Shoot me down.
Just cut out the middleman.
Try to make a
stop trying to amalgamate two players. He's nothing near the hatchet man that Brellier was.
No, that's what I mean. He's kind of taking the qualities of both of them. He gets himself around the midfield like Brellier did. Mm-hmm. He's effective in breaking the play up like Brellier really was in 2005-2006. He's maybe not got the sort of set pieces that Aguiar did, but he finds a pass nearly every single time he's got it. So.
He's his own man. He's a shining light.
That's what I said. I don't like the
Miguel.
He is Miguel.
Anything else? Well, it was one of those sort of halves of football when you listen to a radio commentary that, like, you are listening to it, and then you sort of stop and think after about half an hour and sort of realize I've got no idea of any of the events that took place there. Nothing stuck in my head.
We won 3-0 at Palmerston earlier in the season. You guys went to that game?
That's correct.
That's right.
And we won 4-1 against them at Tynecastle.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it wouldn't be a real stretch to say that both those scorelines flattered us.
Yeah, very much so.
This game, I feel we could have scored another 2, and it would have been fair based on our second half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think the second half we were that much better. If we just found those extra passes that would have got goals, which we weren't doing, then we could have absolutely ruined them. Definitely not as close as the scoreline made out. They defended really well and they played their midfield really well, but we could have scored at least one more. I wouldn't have said that would have flattered us.
So you don't think it was a problem with any build-up or chance creation? It was just finishing?
Finishing and just getting into the final third.
Yeah, getting on the end of the balls.
Yeah, lots of good balls went into the box. Their keeper made a few good saves.
Shout out to Clarky.
Oh, yes.
Wait, did you have some sort of relationship with Mr. Clark?
Well, I think everyone's friend, Friggy, has. Yes, I think you're aware of his work. He likes to get to know a keeper, I think.
That's it. Yeah.
I think he just started kind of chanting his name over and over and over again.
Xander Clark, he's away on loan from St Johnstone at Queen of the South. He took it all really well, but for the vast majority of the half, because we weren't getting the ball right in front of us, we couldn't really see a huge amount that was going on in the midfield, so we just shouted abuse at him, and occasionally he would give us a thumbs up or he'd smile at something that's been said, like your dad hates you,
just classic banter, like your dad hates you.
You're adopted.
That was. I remember one. It might have been Ian Walker actually shouted, "And what's it like to not be wanted by St Johnstone?" And someone piped up, "Or your mum." Like really harsh stuff. I was like, poor man could have left the pitch in tears.
Really well.
But he took it. Yeah, he did.
Like an
and he also had the last laugh as well. But we might come to that later. So.
Yeah, there's definitely. I want to mention something about Xander Clark right at the end of the game, but we'll talk about.
That's Angus dictating the running order of the podcast.
Xander Clark cast.
Well, then I guess we better hasten ourselves to the end of the game. And towards the end of the game, Hearts finally managed to turn this apparent dominance that we had
No idea.
into red hot goal commodities.
Yeah, finally.
It was silky.
Yeah, it was
silky goal. It was a deflected shot. Absolutely.
Touch of class.
It was 100% not our good friend Xander Clark's fault.
It was made in Manchester, though, was it not, Robbie?
It was indeed. Well, by way of. Where's Danny Wilson from? I actually don't know. Livingston, right, sorry. Shout out to Livingston.
Come on, Livingston!
But no, it started off with a Exley kind of had the ball and laid it back to Wilson, and Exley just gets on his bike and motors down the wing like he'd been doing all afternoon. He was full of energy yesterday, and he was really great, consistent performance, I thought, from him. We've kind of mentioned perhaps his culpability in the first goal, but we'll let that slide for now because it was a great pass from Wilson when he received it. It was a fantastic cross into the right area. So he seemed to have made a bit of space for himself and scuffed it towards the goal, and I think it was on target anyway, but it took a horrible deflection and kind of took it the other way, away from the keeper. So
I'm not entirely sure who it bounced off of. Two different match reports I've read have given two different Queen's players, but it definitely bounced off of someone.
Let's face it, the Queen of the South players, you wouldn't know them if you bounced into them. But yeah, like it was really interesting. It wasn't like our good friend Andrew Henry Bowie made a point of contacting me this morning to point out how far up the pitch Eckersley had got for the goal after we sort of said he was maybe a little hesitant to get forward in previous podcasts.
That was certainly not the case yesterday. I thought he was full of intent yesterday. I think.
Well, generally not just at the goal.
I think so. Yeah. I mean certainly in the second half anyway. Whereas King on the kind of right hand side seemed to make a lot of kind of more rolling runs. I don't recall that many from Walker. Am I being unfair? I
think
know.
Walker was very well marked,
yeah.
So he didn't get to be as positive in the game as he usually is.
So there was space for Eckersley to exploit.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite detail from the goal highlights is that Eckersley is so far up the pitch, like the camera can't actually pan enough to get him in when the cross happens.
We've seen it so often. We've discussed this many times on this podcast. I'm a huge Eckersley fan. I think he's fucking great. But we've seen it so many times that he's almost been one of our main outlets this season. Cowdenbeath away, Livingston away as well, and then was it Alloa at home, the 2-0 win just before Christmas.
Yeah.
Again, he was a main man in that sort of left hand side. I think it's great that we have that kind of outlet, because when he first played his first couple of games when McCarthy was out and stuff like that, he was a bit hesitant to maybe get over the halfway line and really make a difference. But when he does, he's such a dangerous player because he's got a good cross on him as well.
He does, and he's got a decent turn of pace too. And I like to see him go past players more. I think he's totally capable of it. And his run yesterday for the goal, and I'm kind of going on about it, but it was just great to see. I mean, this is like the kind of final minutes of the game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He's still full of beans.
Yeah,
he didn't stop running all game.
No.
He was quick and energetic from the first to the 90th. It's really easy if you're in a tough game like that to stop running so hard, and if he had stopped, he probably wouldn't have made the run that we got the goal from. Very, very committed, professional display from him.
As we say, an unorthodox finish from Zeefuik, but I think possibly he would have still beaten the keeper without the the deflection.
No, I think at PSV he learned to deflect the ball onto the opposition's dick and then go back to his head, to be honest with you. That's just the kind of class that you get from
Hours and hours on the training grounds with like the groin areas of those plastic training dummies, like circles.
You see it in the Eredivisie highlights every week.
I think they call it dick shot. Oh, they call it G-Fog, dick shot, goal!
yeah. No, it's I've got a lot of time for Zayfug as well. I like that he doesn't care that he's kind of fat as well. He's been mentioned in so many interviews, and he's like, yeah, no.
Well, Robbie
He's husky.
mentioned that he can't jump as high as you would want a target man to do, and that's why he doesn't really work in that role. But after he scored, he runs off past the fans and jumps and punches the air, and he gets maybe half an inch off the ground.
But no, that was the goal. I think relief, is that the word? I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a sort of inevitability, but the longer the game went on, there was kind of, we're not going to fucking win this. We're going to just get a draw here.
I said at one point, all we're going to do is stand here on this terrace and call our keeper a cunt and draw 1-1.
See, I like the idea that we're now like at the point as Hearts fans we're just like, we're not going to win this.
Well, after such well, yeah. I mean, there's that kind of expectation now, I guess. But but even so, the pattern of the game, and certainly, as I say, the second half certainly reflected. We should have had a couple by now. There was a lot of yelling for a substitution, justified. I think.
I wanted Zayfug off for so.
Yeah,
After
a lot of people
about
did.
65 minutes, I felt that we needed his running, and the really exciting thing was, shortly after Zayfug's goal, So did come on, so he appears to be back.
Again, though, I mean, like your concerns about Patterson on that surface, I would think you can double and
Yeah.
triple them for Osman.
Yeah.
I just wanted another striker on, basically, because, as we said, I mean, as I alluded to the tactic before, kind of long balls and things like that, which there seemed to be a lot of yesterday, wasn't really working, and I think just another option would have been a good idea earlier on in the game. But having said that, ended up in the back of the net, ended up 2-1, so what the fuck do I know? So
It's
nothing, Rob. Kindly leave.
See you later, guys. It's been long.
Brett, sort of bring it back to that, the feeling you got on Thursday is like, oh fuck, we might draw this. I just think it's great, not many times in my Hearts supporting life have I watched a team where I've always been confident that we can get back into a game, that we can get the winner with, a couple of minutes left on the clock. It's just this team never seems to give up, which is an amazing trait. It's a trait of winners that they can, keep grinding it out, keep working until the 90th minute, which showed it against Hibs, obviously the Ozturk goal and all that kind of stuff. It's great to see that that's the kind of mentality that's been instilled by Nielsen, Crawford, and Ross, etc.
And also, young players gaining confidence as well. I mean, to compare a lot of these players with how they were last season, it's night and day.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of pressure, and they were getting a lot of abuse and things like that. And I can see how that can make heads drop, especially when results aren't going your way. But this is a completely different side now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And it has helped with signings like Piardo, like Eckersley, guys who've got the experience, the know-how, who can come in and help the players when they've got that. Maybe we didn't. Well, we definitely didn't have that last season. We had Jamie Hamill.
I'm not even going to react to that. I'm just going to say that brings us nicely to the end of the game, Angus.
Yeah.
I want you to react.
Something about Jamie Hamill. I want Nico to react as well. No, right at the end of the game, they got a corner, and
Fucking Jamie Hamill!
Do you not like Jamie Hamill?
I'll give Nico a moment.
Okay. Do you want a hug?
End of the absolutely.
Okay.
That's fantastic. Oh, what a result! Thank you, Jamie Hamill.
Queen's put us under a little bit of pressure right towards the end, because it was the 83rd minute I think we scored, 85th, and then Osman Sow came on like a minute and a half later, and then just for that time they were just pressing us really deep, and they won a corner. It was one of the last, I think it was the last bit of action in the game,
Quite possibly, yeah.
and our good friend Xander Clark went up for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we
Which,
were like,
you know, we applauded him all his way out of the pitch. Go on, Clarky, on you go.
and we were like, if he scores this, man, we were in
Can't got a
such
fucking
shit.
head on it.
He did, man. Yeah.
Put it just wide.
Just wide, and we were like, fucking hell, if that had gone in, it'd be right up to us. So like, yep, yeah, he's up, you know, so.
Yeah, like Adebayor scoring against Arsenal.
I know. Just like that, yeah.
Just like it,
just like that, yeah. But you know, he missed, they lost, and we
I came back and applauded us because.
Yeah.
Well, good luck for the future, Clarky.
Yeah.
Just not against
Yeah.
Heart of
Well, I hope you didn't take it too personally. I'm sure your mother does like you.
Your dad's
Your
fucking hates you.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for both attending that game and coming back to tell us all about it.
Yeah.
Man of the match time. I can tell you that like approximately 40% of Laurie Dunsire's commentary on Hearts TV was him going, Miguel Gallardo, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
Yeah, Gallardo is definitely a contender.
And obviously Billy King again contributed strongly. But who are we going to be singing about this week?
Adam Eckersley. I know. I'm not sure if a lot of people will agree or something like that, but it's just they work great, and as we just alluded to before, I think he's exactly the kind of player you want, and in that kind of situation when you are 1-1 and just looking for grit and determination, he's got it, man. So yeah.
As good as Gallardo was, as good as Billy King was, it was Eckersley's work rate that got us the second goal, that got us the win. He was fantastic.
Okay, well, just one more decision to make then. Do we sing about Adam Eckersley, or do we all try and do an Adam Eckersley impression and really annoy Robbie with our terrible monkey?
Let's do both!
I think I'm going to win this competition.
It'd be great if you didn't though.
I just wanted to put the ball in the corner.
Who's next?
Just, you know, I put ball into Zayfalk and he smashed it off the boy's dick and went into goal. No, that's Yorkshire.
When's it go? Angus, Angus, have you got any nasal sort of Mancunian drawl going?
No, it's terrible. I was doing Manchester accents for Robbie on the bus yesterday and really upsetting him, but it's the way to go, I'm from Manchester.
Fucking hell.
I'm not going to get involved in this racism. Not at all.
No, you need to do just do your impression of going, Chris Boyd, shut up.
Chris Boyd, shut up.
There we go.
Stone Roses.
We'll probably do some songs about Adam Eckersley. Just that was some radio gold there. But we've got a tradition about songs now, so we might as well go ahead with it. Do either of our esteemed guests want to kick off?
Well, actually, Angus, did you not have something you want to say about the toilets?
Let's talk about Palmerston.
Oh Jesus, yes. My word.
I just remembered obviously the piss TARDIS that we discussed in the last time we went to Palmerston.
It's like a fucking air raid shelter.
It's horrifying. I've visited a concentration camp and it's very reminiscent of that. In fact, it made me feel a bit like it was Queen of the Auschwitz.
Oh, good lord, can we edit that out?
And that's your pun for the day.
I don't say that about lovely Queen of the South.
I thought you were going to say don't say that about lovely Auschwitz.
It's a lovely ground. It's a fantastic ground. The terracing's amazing. Their stands are quite. They're not horrible Lego stands, but their toilet facilities are just fucking bad.
It reminded me of Main Road. I have to say, it did. Proper old school, but worse. Because no lights. It's just like guttering. I went for a tinkle before the game actually started. I'm glad I did because it was like an inch away from tipping the balance. And then people coming back about 20 minutes into the game, nah, man, it's like a river.
I went and kind of stuck my head in. I was like, nope, and then stood in a queue to go into a chemical toilet, which someone had done a delightful jobby all over. So yeah.
Other than that, Queen of the South, you were delightful.
Dumfries is nice and the ground is nice, it's just their toilets are not nice.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've hit rock bottom, let's keep digging. Robert, give us a song.
Do you want me to start? I'll start. I'll do it. Yeah, okay. At left back we had McHattie. We needed so much more. Then we signed just what we needed. He's number 44, came to me from Denmark, Adam Eckersley, you're my world. Down, 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 down.
That's good, I like, Manchester reference as well.
Some of that Stone Roses.
Is it? Right, okay. I'm just sitting here smiling politely. Well, that was lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good one.
Thanks.
Angus, you're next.
Okay. Adam playing in the defence. Adam dressed in jam tarts maroon. Adam bombing down the left side at Palmerston. Adam scored a couple of goals. Adam squared up to Chrissy Boyd. Adam fucking hates the Hibs. We'll be champions. Starting off, I'm gonna have to stop with the high pitch. Starting off at Man United, and then in Denmark he played. Now he's a hero at Hearts. I want you to stay at America's League. America's League. America's League. America's League.
Very good. Stars Go Blue, right?
Yeah, I'm going to see Ryan Adams on Tuesday night, and as everyone knows, Ryan Adams is a fucking god.
Yeah, everyone.
Nowhere near cool enough to have recognised that tune, but that was that's rivaling Bowie for the best singer that we've had on. So.
No, Bowie still wins always.
Okay. Mine isn't as long as that, so I'm
It's
gonna
absolutely fine.
That's fine.
It's what you do with it that counts.
Okay. I also have to admit I had a little help with this. Mr. Gareth Fitzgerald of fantastic Edinburgh band The Alibis gave me inspiration for this one. So let's see how this goes. Out on the left wing he appeared with his red hair and ginger beard. Whips across in long and low, but not to Osmond so. Eckersley is feeding Z. Fuku lost his man. Eckersley is feeding Z. Fuku so that he can make it to Eckersley. Plays for Hearts, you see, and looks damn fine in maroon.
Yes.
That's an Angry Anderson. Suddenly, for the younger listeners might not get the reference, but there you go.
Well, crucially, that's the first one I've recognised. So.
Says a lot there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, kindly in jest, that's what we all based our images of romantic love on.
I certainly did.
Certainly, that was the theme for your wedding.
Those words as well.
The cross came in from Eckersley. Adam makes it all look so easy. He strolls past with his ginger beard, and the jam sing Eckersley. Yeah, Eckersley. There you go.
Oh. I don't reckon. Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
Wrecking Ball.
Oh, right, okay. And actually, I have to say, that is always my favourite part of the podcast, and to actually be in its presence, I feel like I've been touched by the hand of God.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Well,
no, of course.
thank you.
Yeah, your vision of God is a quite weak one.
That was a diverse range of songs. I'm tempted to give it to Angus just with a falsetto.
I think so too.
Yeah,
It's well deserved.
Angus,
well deserved.
victory.
Well done.
Well, I'm humbled.
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Any other business from Dumfries? Anything else to touch upon?
Anything
It's
funny
not from
happened?
Dumfries, but it's about Adam Eckersley.
Oh, well, that's topical.
He followed me on Twitter for about 3 days and stopped following me because my chat's that shit. And it really hurt, And also, my cringiest thing I've ever done at a football match was after the Falkirk game, when I called over to him, Adam! And he turned around, and I didn't have anything, so I just went, we're still going to win the league! Keep your head up, son! He's quite a bit older than me.
And what an effect it had.
Yeah, we've not lost a game since.
Well, thank you for that, Angus.
Yeah, well done, man.
Yeah. You're welcome.
If you want to find out, if you want to discover the chat that turned Adam Eckersley off, how would they find you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter as @AngusMaroon.
That worked. I understand that.
Yeah.
Wait, are you on Twitter, Robbie?
I certainly am, yes. I'm @RobMcVicker.
Yeah. Also makes sense. That's
Yeah.
that's indeed your name.
Yeah.
I followed that your name template by being @NickelHay.
I'm @RF Borthwick because @Robert Borthwick does not fit into a Twitter handle.
Oh, is that right?
That's why. Yeah. There you go.
Great.
Now we know. Yep. Cool. You can also catch us on via email, which is wehavenocares@gmail.com. The Twitter is up and running as well. That's @wehavenocares. And Nicole, do you want to tell them where to find this episode and all the previous ones?
I do.
Yeah, do it then.
So I'm going to.
Yes.
The easiest way to do it is go to our website, wehavenocares.tumblr.com,
Yeah.
and that have every single episode with a YouTube link, with audio links, with iTunes, with Android. It's everything you could. It's everything you could want, Robbie.
Oh, and more.
No.
Absolutely not, no.
No. Join us next week for another podcast.
Because we're playing
Another team. I want to say County Meath.
County Meath. Home. Yay!
We're going to go to that game.
Yeah, I'll be at that one.
We'll have our own things to think about.
Yeah, we can say stuff in that.
Huzzah.
Yay.
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Steve Crawford.
Oh.
Hey, baby.
Amaruso, that's a run, it's a done!